Well, let's take this one step further. What do you have to beat out of or get rid of from an actor or actress in terms of how they perform so that they perform appropriately? Yeah,
good question. I think, one of the things, I always use the analogy of an artist, a painter versus a sculptor. A painter has a blank canvas, and you add paint, and by adding more stuff, more paint, more oils, whatever, eventually you end up with an image or whatever that is. A sculptor, through the process of eliminating pieces of whatever he's working in marble, eventually by eliminating what's not required, you end up with so those two different approaches. And acting and actors, basically it really becomes about eliminating blocks that get in the way of impulses. Allow yourself to react in a way that is impulsive. And so we work a lot with impulses. And a lot of actors students come, and through conditioning, parents, teachers, different things, we tend to are not aware of what's actually going on, and we tend to suppress and not express ourselves due to blocks that have come about through, having to protect it. Within the real world, you protect yourself, and you have to, but on the stage, an actor has to kind of put all that aside and be as a child. So it's very much about an unblocking through exercises, through physical things that we do, and it's really about eradicating the head and thinking. Thinking gets in the way, believe it or not. And when an actor's purely in action and involved and reacting, there's actually no thinking going on, and that's where presence happens. So is this all technical?
No, that's great, because it sounds like a really thorough psychological process where you're sort of teaching someone to unblock their approach to things and to be much more naturalistic and more reactive to situations. Yes. Two-parter. Is it a long process? And secondly, does it sometimes not work?
In terms of working with actors?
Yes.
In terms of it's when I say it's a long process. I've taught a long time, and often when actors are ready to go, I basically say you need to leave the safety of the school. I don't hang on to actors. You have to move on. I think behind that question also is maybe, can everyone learn to act?
Yeah.
Is it something that, or some people, I think you have to have something there, Peter. I think there needs to be some kind of a seed planted deep, which may be asleep, which may be dormant, but a good teacher comes along and somehow awakens what you already possessed, but maybe it did not know that you possessed. I think some actors and all the students who have taught over many, many years, I think everybody, can they learn to act? No. I think you have to have something there to start with. And there are some actors who just, acting comes difficult for them. But, with perseverance and often they somehow break through a barrier. It's always about breaking through barriers. So I'm always amazed. Sometimes I'll see an actor for quite a while and I think, oh my God, I need to tell this person something there. Maybe they should give it away. And then one week something will happen in the class and suddenly something opens up and you see something and you go, oh my God, I was wrong. And they have this breakthrough. But it very much is a process, Peter. I very much believe in process.
Yep. Absolutely. So can you give an example that we can see out there on film and television of, you've mentioned De Niro and so on, but an example of a good acting performance?
Oh, wow. So many images in my head. One that comes, actually I was just talking to a student the other night, so I'll mention that one. And there was the movie True Romance.
Yes.
Yeah, with Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper.
Yep.
The famous scene, the wonderful scene where where Dennis Hopper's character gets blown away by Christopher Walken leading up. You know the scene I'm talking about?
Yes.
To me, that's a wonderful example of incredible acting. And what about it? That was scripted, that scene. I think one or two lines might have been improvised, but from what I've read, it was all scripted. And when you watch that, it sounds improvised. There's a spontaneity to it. There's very much what I call in between the lines acting, which Michael Caine termed that phrase. Actually, he said good film actors. Michael Caine said good film actors act between the lines, and you see that in this particular clip on True Romance, and it's and you just see two wonderful, experienced actors, and it's like you just get so taken away, and and you must remember that it's on the page, and yet that they somehow get it off the page, and that's the real challenge for the actor, to get it from I've often said, get it from the page to the stage.